how realistic is it to make, let's just say, $100,000 on a single launch if you only have 1,000 people on your email list?
I would say it's possible. It's been done. But I want to be careful about that because then some people will think like, oh, I could just go out and like buy 1,000 subscribers and then I can like have $100,000 launch. It's going to be so great. But so I'm going to put a caveat on this because it depends on the subscribers. Like 1,000 organic subscribers totally can be done. If they are 1,000 paid subscribers that are brand new and you have like a low price product, that's like a huge stretch. So where the subscribers come from is huge. And also, and a bigger one is like, it really depends on your relationship to the list. Like, how long have you been nurturing them for? Like, do they know you? Do they trust you? Those are really important ones, which we'll definitely talk about today. But also the price of your program. Like if it's a several $100s, most clients, when they come to me and they have like a program that's like $300 and they're starting out in the online course game, I'm always like, okay, can we just back up a second and figure out how to make this program like $3,000 and way more awesome so that you can actually start making some money right away?
So Fire Nation, I love this content because this is where I've been coming at for people for a very long time. When they come to me, John, what should I podcast about? What should I start my product launch about? What, should my brand be? All these different things. I've been pushing people for years towards this micro niche where they can just be such a big deal in such a small micro niche, at least to start. And, I love using a ballerina example because we have somebody in Podcasters Paradise who was going to launch this very broad, vague podcast just about overall dance and all these different genres. But when she went through the course and said, you know what, I'm just going to niche down and I'm just going to do a podcast specifically on being a ballerina, then she didn't have this massive audience, but every single one of those people were perfect for her niche. And so that's where I really want to circle around to, Tarzan, is if you really dive down and you really nail your niche and it's a specialized niche and you're the one person that's dominating that and you have 1,000 people, then you have an opportunity to make serious revenue because they're the right people there for the right content who have the exact problems and obstacles and challenges that you want to solve. So have you seen people who have done really special, cool things in a micro niche? If so, let's hear an example.
Yeah, totally. I'll give you a great example. So one of my clients, whenever I meet someone that has like a really awesome niche, that is like what makes me the most jealous. Like, tell me about your revenue. Sure, I'm going to be jealous, but like a really sweet niche, that's what I really get fired up about. So one of my clients, her name's Kim Constable and her brand is The Sculpted Vegan. And she teaches vegan bodybuilders like how to get a body that's like so sexy you could be on a stage and win first prize, which is what she actually does. And her business is so niched. And what I love about it is it's actually not just vegans that are attracted to her. Like people are attracted to specificity. And that's what they go to her. That's why they're really attracted to her. Lots of people they kind of just ignore the vegan stuff. And Kim has built, like she went from 0 to $1 million in, I'm going to say about 18 months. Like it was just absolutely incredible to watch. And I've noticed this myself, like when I'm selling a product, like I have this program and when I sell it, I specifically say like, you shouldn't buy this program if you have fewer than 500 subscribers. And ultimately people will come to me and they'll be like, Tarzan, I really want it. Like, I don't have those 500 subscribers yet, but like, will you take me? Like, can I do it? So it's interesting. I think people resist niching down because they're afraid it's going to, like, people will say like, well, I don't meet the criteria, therefore this is not for me. But actually what I have seen is the opposite happens. The people who meet the criteria are like, great, this is awesome for me. I'm getting it. And then the people who don't meet the criteria, they're still somehow attracted to that specificity and they still want it.
So let's say somebody listening right now is launching for the very first time, and let's say they are going to take our advice and they're not going to try to be broad and vague and scream into the wind where nobody's hearing them and getting into that saturated part of the market, but they're going to micro niche. They're going to go down. They're going to be specific. They're going to be passionate and curious about the topic. They're also going to have some value and expertise to share, just like Kim can with all of her great content in the vegan body sculpting world. How big does that individual's email list need to be?
So I always want to make the number as low as possible so that people feel like they can actually do this. I would prefer to see people have a list of like 2 to 3,000. The thing is like nobody likes doing the work of list building. Launching a product is so much sexier. So people will be like, oh, I'm just going to like launch my online course. It's going to be so great. And they don't do the work of building a list. So that's like the thing that I want to say first, like do the work of building the list and actually nurturing them. If you have but let's say you don't have 2 to 3,000, let's say you have like 500, that's totally fine. But you're going to use way different methods if you're launching a list to 500 people than you would if you're launching to a list of 20,000 or 100,000. Because when you have a small list, and this is really the magic here, is like you can get so personalized with people. Like you can start individually reaching out to people on your list. Like you can make videos for them. You can like actually do sales calls with them. So if it's more like, think about, okay, maybe your target number is 3,000, but if you only have 500 and you're ready to launch your product, like cool, go for it. I think you can still have a successful product launch, provided the price is not too low. But be prepared to get on calls. Like, don't just rely on inviting people to one webinar and sending them a bunch of promo emails. Like, you need to really squeeze that small list for all it's worth. And that means personalized.
Let's talk about some specific tactics for going from 0 to 500, which some of our listeners may be at right now, to the 2 to 3,000 that you're looking for. So if we're listening and we're at 0 or 300 or 500, and you're saying it'd be good to get to 2 to 3,000, what are some great ways to do just that?
So what I see with a lot of my clients and people that are newer in business is like they struggle just to be visible. They're probably hiding behind like their job, or maybe in many cases, like I have this one client, she's an acupuncturist. She has a really successful business as an acupuncturist, and now she's doing an online course. And she needs to grow her list. But many people in that position, like they sort of hide behind their job and like their brick and mortar, like one-on-one thing. So what I always tell them is like when someone comes to me and they buy like a package, I'll give them a special bonus for showing up every single week on video and sending a weekly email. And just like, so in most cases, just like be more visible, whatever that means, like book podcasts, guest episodes, write some guest blogs. Like, where is your audience hanging out? You can just ask them. You can ask your existing customers and existing subscribers, like what blogs do they read, what podcasts do they listen to, and then start go and pitching those.
Okay, so we're growing our list. People are actually on our list, and we're getting to that magical 2 to 3,000 and beyond number. But now we need people to actually open these emails. We need people to actually reply to these emails. What's your number one tool for this?
Okay, I'm so excited that you asked me this because I discovered a new tool. So you and I came together because of our mutual friend, Amy Porterfield, who's a client of mine. And when I was promoting her program, I added this new tool called BombBomb, and I can't even, all I could talk about every live, every interview, everywhere I went, I was like, I want the whole world to know about BombBomb. So it's this tool, and it works like right inside my Gmail inbox, and I can make videos without leaving my browser tab.
Oh, that's key.
And it is amazing. And like also I can make stock videos and like snippets of text. So, you know, when you're doing an affiliate promotion, what happens is like people email you all the time and they'll be like, I just bought through you. Yay. So I had like a snippet and a video ready to go. I could send that email in like literally 30 seconds, and people feel so cared for and excited. So that's like post-purchase, but even before they've purchased, like I love to, this is a great small list strategy, is like when you're after you've done a webinar, let's say you were like, oh, bummer, I only had like 30 people show up to my webinar. Great. So now you can go through your list of 30 people and you can make a personalized video for them. And it's going to take you like an hour because they're going to be 2 minutes. You're going to go boom, boom, boom. You're going to do it. The wonderful thing I love about BombBomb is it creates this GIF, and it's like, it just creates a GIF out of like the first 3 seconds of your video. So I always do funny things, like I'll be off the screen and then I'll like slide in my chair, or like I don't know, shake my hair, or like do something silly to get people's attention. And people cannot resist. Like another beautiful thing they do is like they have an X over the volume. So it's just a GIF. So you can't play, but it has an X and it looks, the instinct is like, oh, let me unmute this. And then it opens up in a nice clean window and there's your video.
Now, does this work on mobile at all as well, BombBomb?
Yeah, so they have an app, which I haven't gotten that into. So yeah, they do. If I'm like, I was traveling recently and I had a launch going, so I used it during then because like that's the easiest way to make videos on your mobile. But for the most part, I use it in my browser at my desk because I can just crank them out so fast. Like I looked at my video count a couple of days ago because I was working on a blog post about BombBomb. And I have made 131 videos in like 6 weeks. And I estimate that it only took me a couple of hours. Like they're so short and it's just so fast.
Nice. And how do you spell it?
BombBomb, like a bomb, BOMB, BOMB.
Bomb goes boom, boom, Fire Nation, make it happen. So Tarzan, you have a lot of advice for entrepreneurs, but one thing that I've heard you talk about in the past is how entrepreneurs seem to really resist certain things when it comes to email marketing. What is that thing or things that they do resist, and what's behind that resistance?
Okay, so before I answer this, I want to qualify it. I work with personal brands, and what I'm about to say does not apply to e-commerce or big brands. Like they do not have this problem. But with the personal brands, like people hear this all the time, like write a weekly email and write it yourself. But oh my God, is there so much resistance? We have all these beliefs like, it's fun. It's funny. There's a lot of blocks. So the main thing is like people are afraid of unsubscribes. Like they take it so personally. And I always tell people like, stop looking at your unsubscribe list. Like, why are you even looking at that? Just like, stop. People are going to leave. People are going to come back. Like that's a good thing. And in the future, like you don't want to pay for people that aren't even reading your emails. So embrace the unsubscribes. People think they're not good at writing, which like, honestly, if you don't write at all, like you're probably not very good at it. But the only way to get good at it is to just keep doing it. And in terms of like doing it yourself, this is probably the most important part. Like everybody wants to outsource it. And for a long time, the main arm of my business was copywriting. And like the reason why I have switched more to the strategy side is because 90% of the people that came to me should not be hiring a copywriter. They're too early in their business. And I would tell them, like, you have to do this yourself. I can't figure out what your voice is for you. You have to figure that out yourself. And writing those weekly emails, like that's how you really cultivate a relationship with your list. You write something and they reply, or sometimes they get mad at you. And that's how you learn.
Fire Nation, stop looking at your unsubscribe list. Why are you putting yourself through that? And by the way, guess what? They aren't meant for you and they're costing you dollars. So just be happy when people unsubscribe because they're not meant for you anyways. It's like people leaving your birthday party. They're like sitting in the corner, like being all wow, wow. Like you want them gone anyway. So get rid of them. And Fire Nation, put in the reps. Put in the reps. You want to get good at writing emails? Write emails. You want to get good at podcasting? You do podcasting. You actually put in the reps and you podcast your face off. You write your face off. Nobody gets good at anything without doing that thing, period, end of story. And if you think Tarzan's been dropping value bombs, you just wait till when we get back after we thank our sponsor. There's so much power in the technology we use today, but figuring out which software is best for your business and how it all works together can be overwhelming and time-consuming. If you're ready to streamline your workflows so things like customer support, employee onboarding, and even your marketing strategy can start working for you, then you need Zapier. Zapier makes it easy to connect all your apps, automate routine tasks, and streamline your processes. One big way Zapier has helped us is in streamlining our communication and follow-up with our online course members, and it's super easy to use. You can connect over 4,000 of the most popular apps you're probably using every day already, like Google Sheets, QuickBooks, and even your task management software. No wonder over 1.8 million people and businesses use Zapier to streamline their work and find more time for what matters most. See for yourself why teams at Airtable, Dropbox, HubSpot, Zendesk, and thousands of other companies use Zapier every day to automate their businesses. Try Zapier for free today at zapier.com/fire. That's ZAPIER.com/fire. Looking for scalability and customization in the software that you're using to run your business? Smart move, Fire Nation. Using software and tools that scale with you and that are customizable is a must when growing your business, and that's why a HubSpot CRM is perfect. HubSpot scales with you. So whether you're brand new to the business space or welcoming your 100,000th customer, HubSpot is impossible to outgrow. HubSpot also offers several hubs, apps, and tools that are all customizable. So whatever your business needs to stand out, HubSpot can deliver. Their website builder is a perfect example of this. Build a unique website for your business quickly and easily with HubSpot's web builder. All you have to do is select a theme from the HubSpot marketplace or let developers build your unique theme from scratch. With its easy to use editor, you'll be able to seamlessly make updates and take full ownership of your site in no time. Learn how your business can grow better at HubSpot.com. As an entrepreneur just starting out or looking to scale up, it can be tricky to know which advice to follow. And if you've been thinking about making an online course part of your business, the Thinkific Trends Report is one of the most important things you'll read this year. The team at Thinkific analyzed the top 20% of creators to discover what they're doing differently to make them so darn successful. In this report, you'll uncover why top creators are 2 times more likely to use communities, 3 times more likely to sell courses and bundles, plus learn why it's time to say goodbye to the hard sell. I can say after reading it that this report is chock full of insights you can immediately put into action today, because if you're still creating courses the same way you were 5 years ago, you might be missing out on some big opportunities. Discover which trends are powering the most successful creators in 2022, what their secrets are to growing their business, how they focus their time, and much more. Visit thinkific.com/firetrends. That's THINKIFIC.com/firetrends. So Tarzan, we all want a successful digital course launch in 2019. I mean, I'm not going to put words in Fire Nation's mouth, but 96% of my listeners, if they were asked, hey, do you want a successful course launch in 2019? They would say yes, because that's awesome when that happens. How do we set ourselves up for something like that?
So you take the advice that most people resist and you just show up. Start showing up on a weekly basis for like as long, like if you start now and maybe then you're going to have a launch in November, and you can make a really long runway. Like my clients who have the most successful launches, it's because they've been talking about it to their list. They've been like warming people up for months and months ahead of time. So if you want, like, actually, I would love it if you just stop working on your digital course. You can create that after you sold it. That is not the most important thing right now. Just start nurturing your list, like send them good stuff, reach out to them, like perhaps do a survey, like start making some personalized videos. Like by the time you're ready to launch, you should feel like these people are my friends. I know them, I love them, and I can't wait to bring them into my program because it's going to be awesome for everyone.
Create your course after you sell it, Fire Nation. I know that's a very strange concept, but here's what most people do. They spend months and months and months like holed up in their little office and they create this course and then they announce it to the world and people are like, so what? What are you talking about? And that's not something that I'm interested in. Fire Nation, people vote with their wallets. People vote with their purses. Back in 2013, people were saying, hey, John, I wish you would create a podcasting course. Oh, yeah? Well, here's the deal. Give me $250 right now, today, or this weekend. I actually ran a little weekend campaign. I said, give me $250 this weekend. If at least 20 people that are claiming they want to do this, then in 45 days from now, this course will be ready because then I'll create it, but not until then. And 35 people signed up over that weekend, and Podcasters Paradise came to life 45 days later. I wasn't going to kill myself, time, energy, effort, if people weren't actually going to pay for it. So Fire Nation, decide what it is you want to create in this world and then sell it. And then if it actually sells, create it. And just be honest and transparent that, hey, it's not ready right now or it's going to be ready at a certain date. Just share it in that manner and you'll be just fine. And here's a question that I know a lot of people in my audience are asking. Aren't people already getting way too much email as it is? Like, do they really need an email from me? What would you say to that, Tarzan?
I would say, yeah, people are getting way too much email and they're getting a lot of crap. Like most of the lists that they're probably subscribed to, they delete almost right away. And this is actually a huge opportunity to stand out and be the person in the inbox that is actually real. Like you want, like we all know, we all have all these lists we're subscribed to because we want to see what the person's doing. And then there's like one or two people that when you get an email from them, you're like, oh yeah, that's the one I want to open. Like that's always my goal, is to be that person. And for me, like the way I have managed to be that person is by sharing the good stuff and the bad stuff and being really real. Like in the online course industry, like there's just so much. We're really saturated with like so and so had a 6-figure launch, and then this person had like 200 people on their email list and made $400,000 the first time they launched. And like there's so much of that. I actually just sent an email out to my list a couple days ago and was like, I had this promo and it was a total bomb, and I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but also like, hey, come to my webinar on Friday. Like, I'm going to tell you all the things that you shouldn't do. And I had so many people email me back and they were like, oh my God, thank you, Tarzan. Like, thanks for keeping it real. And I know that that's why people are on my email list. And that's why I have these like ride or die subscribers, because I always like, I just tell them the real.
Lemons are going to happen, Fire Nation. Make some lemonade. Now, if we're taking your advice, Tarzan, and we're doing the work, we're putting in the effort, we're creating the emails, we're doing all these things, how the heck do we know if they're actually effective? What metrics should we be tracking to judge this?
So I would say this is the simplest metric, is just, are people replying? If they're not replying, you definitely have a problem. Like to me, that's the single, like for any size list, that's the single biggest indicator. So for this launch that I just mentioned, that was a bit of a bomb. I knew right away that there was a problem because I wasn't getting replies to my emails, which is important because then like I did a few things. I fixed it. It was okay in the end. But so are people replying? That's a big one, because if you're looking at like a target open rate or click-through rate, like it can vary wildly depending on the size of your list. Like some people will say like, Tarzan, like I have a 70% conversion rate on my landing page. Like how awesome am I? I'm like, yeah, that's super great. But if you only sent like 30 super hot people to visit it, you can't really trust that conversion rate. So a metric that would be really awesome for you, JLD, with your list, like would be like pretty shite for me because I have a much smaller list. So I want my open rate to be like consistently really high, and my click-throughs as well, because like I have a small list. So I think people, like, you just want to be careful about saying like, okay, so I'm going to look for like 20% open rate and like 2% click-through. Like it's going to be different across industries, and like depends on the size of your list. So just look at like, are people replying? What kinds of things are they saying? Like how are they, like, do they like you? Like those are the metrics you should be tracking.
Are people replying, Fire Nation? Are they asking questions? Are they engaging? Are they acting excited that they're getting these emails from you? I mean, these are things you need to be focusing on. But let's be real, Fire Nation, because I know, Tarzan, there's people right now that are saying, John, Tarzan, can't I just automate everything and make sales while I sleep? I mean, I hear other people are doing it. I want to do that too. I want to go to sleep tonight and wake up $10,000 richer. Tell me how.
Oh my gosh, JLD, I'm about to crush the hearts of hundreds of thousands of people right now, okay? Most evergreen funnels don't make money. This is a very, very advanced technique. Clients come to me, like almost every client that comes to me wants an evergreen funnel. It's like, if they don't say it, like I'm just waiting for it on the initial call. Like, I want to automate this. Like, I know it's coming.
But Tarzan, how soon can we automate this?
Yeah, exactly. That always comes up. Like, when can I automate it? It's like people want to exit from their business and they just got in. Like, it's like this magical unicorn. Like, I'm going to have this evergreen funnel and it's just going to make money for me. That's actually not how it happens. And when you see people that do have evergreen funnels, what I see, like my clients, like what they don't know is usually that evergreen funnel is part of an ecosystem of products. So like that person with this famous, like popular evergreen course, like they might just be breaking even on it, but actually they're building a relationship with their subscribers. People that have bought something low priced and liked it are much more likely to buy your high ticket thing. Like there's lots of reasons to have that evergreen funnel, but not like if you want it to like support you and allow you to quit your job, like, well, we need to talk about some other strategies that are a lot more realistic.
So Tarzan, you've been dropping value bombs. I want you to take a step back right now. Give us one huge takeaway you think would be super valuable for Fire Nation with everything that we've been talking about throughout this masterclass. I know you have a really killer and special opportunity for Fire Nation as well, so talk about that, and then we'll say goodbye.
Cool. Okay, so the one thing, and we already said this, and they've heard this before, but honestly, this will be life-changing when you decide to email your list every single week. Whether you have 30 people or 30,000 people, just send that weekly email and watch how much it changes your life like a year from now. This is long game, Fire Nation, like long game. And if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to have long game. So for those who do have long game, I have a webinar coming up on May 14th. It's called Small List, Big Profit: How to Cultivate a 7-Figure Relationship with Your Email List. And you guys can sign up at tarzank.com/fire. So it's May 14th, small list, big profit. There's a couple of times to choose from, but I'm going to be going a lot deeper into a lot of the stuff that we just talked about today.
Fire Nation, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you've been hanging out with TK and JLD today. So keep up the heat. And if you head over to eofire.com and type Tarzan in the search bar, the show notes page will pop up with everything that we've been talking about today. But the call to action here is get on this live webinar, Fire Nation. Small list, big profit. TarzanKay.com/fire. That's Tarzan, TarzanKay. TarzanK.com/fire. Get over there, sign up, learn how to, with a small list, make a big profit. And Tarzan, I want to thank you for sharing your truth, your value bombs with Fire Nation today. For that, we salute you, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Hey, Fire Nation. Today's value bombs were dropped by Tarzan. And if you're ready to rock your podcast, check out our free podcasting course where I will teach you how to create and launch your podcast. freepodcastcourse.com. I will catch you there, or I'll catch you on the flip side. Still think you can create an online course the same way you did 5 years ago? Think again. Thinkific has looked at the top 20% of course creators to see what they're doing now to be so darn successful. Find out for yourself at thinkific.com/fire trends. Work in sales or interested in learning how to sell? Then check out the Salesman podcast with Will Barron. You'll learn how to find buyers and win big business in effective and ethical ways with episode topics like the 4-step process to influencing buying decisions. Listen to The Salesman wherever you get your podcasts.